Madam Toastmaster. What Pat did today was to speak from the Advanced Manual Specialty Speeches, and this particular one is one called Uplift the Spirit. And the purpose of the speech really is threefold. First of all, is to understand the difference between regular speech and inspirational speech. Secondly, to establish emotional rapport with the audience. And third, to move the audience to adopt the views of the speaker by rephrasing the emotional consensus to your own message. Now, I had to paraphrase this because the words I put in the manual don't make any sense at all. But that's basically the challenge that Pat had today, and she met that challenge. She certainly was working on true beatitude with this speech, and as was mentioned, it was a dry run for perhaps a longer speech that she's giving on the 29th of August. I'm not sure if the time's going to be the same, but it's definitely a dry run, and she's not quite there yet. She admitted that to begin with. So as far as understanding the difference between a speech, a regular speech, and an inspirational speech, I think that Pat does understand that and showed that she understood that. We've heard of this granddaughter story before in different speeches, and it's fine to bring this out and to focus around that. The style was not what one would consider really inspiration. I think of Tony Robbins or Cavett Robert, and that wasn't Pat's style today, nor did it need to be. Pat's style was more personal and heartfelt, and you could be inspiring that way as well, and Pat indeed was. Now, as far as establishing emotional rapport with the audience, I'm going to do a little coaching here, because a couple of things you do right off the bat you need to change and get rid of. I don't care that your son had condoms from the time he was 5 years old. Leave that out, or 5th grade. Just leave that out. All you need to say is, my 17-year-old son made a 16-year-old pregnant, and that's all you really need. We don't need the details. All right, these are words of old people you're going to be talking to. All right?
I got it.
The second thing, your second slide up there, you're already pushing your book. Skip pushing the book until the end of the presentation, because what that tells me as an audience, oh, she's just pushing her book. I'm not going to listen to her. So you need, that's where, if you're talking about establishing emotional rapport with the audience, you reverse that there. So skip the book part until the end. Don't even mention it unless you really feel you have to toward the end. As far as moving the audience to adopt to your views by rephrasing the emotional consensus to your message, you did this in a number of ways. You had personal examples. You had the letters, you had the slides, you had the music, and you used them all well. They were a little bit disjointed, I think, overall. Some of the transitions needed to be better. You went from one letter to the next, and I'm scratching my head, what is she talking about? And I think it's just a transition between each one, tying it to legacy or whatever, waiting until later to tie it to legacy would help you there. I think that excellent use of the music, especially the finale. The music was great, the words were great, and it was a perfect ending. You were done, you sat down. That was just the way to do it. I thought that you handled that well. I have some other comments in the manual itself. We can talk after the meeting. I don't care if I'm over time. This is an important speech for Pat.